Hi, Bipin, can you hear me?
Hello, hi sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. Just wait the 5 minutes, then we will start because we are waiting to the participant. So after that, we will start our session.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Just 1 and 2 minutes maximum. Most probably people are joining and fast, so we can start our.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you
Yes,
are
yes.
you are audible. You are audible. Sir.
Sorry for inconvenience. We are just waiting to our speaker also. So
Yes.
she will join. Then we will start.
Yes.
I'm communicating because there's some time difference. Maybe some 5 to 5 minutes. There may be
Yes.
some.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah, Dr. Vikas. If you want to say something, please. Hello, Bipin. If you want to introduce, if you want to say something about IRSA, please share your few word for about our IRSA, how it's created, and what is the goal of the IRSA, why we have created such kind of organization. Even a case you can speak also for the just for the introduction about the organization.
Yeah, please, Kaise sir, go ahead. You,
Okay. So, as we know, the IRSA is an scientific organization, and we all are gathered here to listen a wonderful speaker, today's speaker. And this webinar series was introduced by IRSA, I think from last year, just to confirm that IRSA is not an organization which is actually revolting against government or raising some research scholar related issues. IRSA is a scientific organization which can also conduct a lot of scientific webinars as well as workshops, and of course, coming in the coming year, conferences as well. So we all have seen IRSA from last many years fighting for rights of research scholars in India, and yes, we have won many battles in that case. We can see that yes, most important issue raised by only organization, that is IRSA, is fellowship. None other organization in India has raised his or her voice for raising the for increasing the fellowship in India, because every time we can see there's a budget coming and everything going on, but nothing is happening for research scholars. So IRSA raised his voice for research scholars long back. I think from last 10 years they are doing wonderfully, and I'm really proud to say that yes, we got success twice to increase the fellowship, not by just double, even more than double. I still remember the days when scholars used to get fellowship of rupees 8,000 or 10,000 or maximum 12,000, even after qualifying NET or JRF kind of examinations. It's an organization who raised, which actually raised the voice and a lot of activities were done by IRSA to evoke the government that yes, research scholars are also are a kind of employee. Those are actually not working only for their degree and also playing important role in the establishing good infrastructure or scientific environment in India. On that basis, IRSA has raised the voice and got success twice to get increment in the fellowship. And I'm really glad to say that IRSA is acting at every level. I mean, university level, college level. I mean, you talk about any university in India, any institution, IITs, ISERs, ISCs, universities, central universities, state universities, everywhere we have our uh, scholars and committee members. Those are actually playing really, really very important role for IRSA and for achieving the IRSA's aim. And the main aim of IRSA is to do best possible things for benefits of research scholars to get their genuine rights by any possible means. So we all know that yes, IRSA is regularly uh, doing his best, and we definitely need your support to achieve our aims and goals. If anyone has any question regarding IRSA or any new member or anyone else, they can definitely ask. We all are here, and as IRSA committee members, we can definitely uh, respond back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Kes, and for the brief introduction. And just we are waiting for our keynote speaker, and we are because there may be some time difference, so it's she didn't connect now, and I'm trying to connect her, so she will join as soon as possible. And just for the sorry for the inconvenience to all.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Bipin. I'm doing PhD. Name's Delhi. I'm working as a general secretary in All India Research College. The Cas, Dr. Cas saying about the ERSA, I will share a few words about ERSA. ERSA basically work as a collective voice for research scholar. Research scholar doing a lot of things and struggling the many things with academic curriculum and government system. So we raise the concern and try to solve this through the collective voice with ours to the government and try to solve the things like a fellowship scheme and many more like some uh, some scholar facing the communication gap between the scholars and PI. That's why we plan for today lecture about the mentor and mentee program, so that we can create a good bonding between mentor and mentee, that is PI and student with us, so that the research environment have do a better one. But I'm a new member. Okay, ma'am. Whatever you chat, I will look on that afterward. I mean, ERSA is basically connecting the people, connecting the research scholar towards each other and connecting toward the system, so that we enhance our work efficiency and knowledge skill toward the society and toward the research and science based system. That's what I understand. And as per the history part, whatever Dr. Lal said earlier, ERSA founded about approximately 2018 when the scholar, I mean, Heiken Fellowship movement comes. At that time, no any kind of organization which completely face toward the government to with all the I mean unifying the organization are not there at that time for the 2018, in 2018 fight high and fellowship scheme at that time. Afterwards, ERSA form with the deep understanding toward the scholar problem. Where, I mean, our president, Dr. Lalchand, is founded this ERSA organization, and he's leading till date. He's leading the ERSA organization as a working as a president, and lot of things they do. Definitely, their motivation toward the scholar betterment is remarkable. What we, I mean, whatever we raise is less what they do toward the scholar. That's just, and I will try to do connect with the Lal sir and other member to do something about the scholar communication and betterment of the scholar with the same motivation. The I mean, although I have I'm not much knowledge about the scholars system. Dr. Lal is more main person who's dealing all the things. That means they understand better how to get the um, uh, better communication toward the scholar and working system. So I'm really grateful toward the Dr. Lal and other founder member, those who guiding me to do the some better communication with the scholars. I mean, today and future, I thanks Dr. Lal and other member, those who guiding us to do the some betterment. And I small brief about what I understand is basically is a connecting platform toward the scholar and try to things get the how they resolve the issue or problem. So nowadays you guys know well about the uh, lot of communication gap between the scholar and PI, which mean issue. So Dr. Lal is today, that's why they connect the flora to deliver the talks. That's all my side. Thank you, everyone. Please, some other want to tell about that and other things. Please come. Dr. Amit. Hi, Dr. Amit. Hello. Hi, Dr. Amit. Can you
Cass,
hear
you
me?
want to say something?
Actually, the doctor uh, Parel has asked the question in the chat box that yes, I'm a faculty member at engineering college, and how can IRSA be helpful to me or in my career growth? So
Yeah.
yes,
So
we are a
yeah,
scient-
please share. Yeah.
so we are dealing in a scientific organization which is definitely working across the boundaries, not in the boundaries of subjects or states or countries. So either you belong from engineering background or mathematics background, physics background, biology background, or any research background, even in arts, from any background. If there's a concern related to your research, I mean, there's some issues in your research within your institution or with your mentor or within your lab, which is actually creating issue for or hampering your research, you can definitely send your query to IRSA. Being a faculty member, how can we help you, or how can IRSA can be helpful to you? I mean, for your career growth. So, as I've said just now, that it's a scientific organization also. So, we are regularly conducting lots of workshops, conferences, and many activities like this webinar series. So any of these can be definitely helpful to you, and even you can suggest at your end what more can be done, because we are a growing organization. We can definitely take your inputs and definitely increase our agenda, and we can definitely put into that our committee members, because we regularly do meetings and decide that what to be the next, what kind of webinars we can conduct, what should be the agenda of our workshops or agenda for our coming national and international conferences. So in this way, we can help you right now, and definitely if something which cannot be done at our end, we'll definitely able to suggest you. I mean, what can be done, or from where we can get the help. I hope this much is enough. Or if anything you want to ask or you want to discuss this further, we have other members, and even I can respond back to you again.
Yes, Dr. Cass, definitely the ESA also conducting the several scientific event every month, like the workshop and webinar and the scientific talk. As today we are we have joined for the scientific session, and that is very important topic, which is implement in the institution among the research scholar and faculty. Because if there will be the good correlation, good understanding between the PI and the student, then definitely we can do the innovative research and we can pursue the innovative idea. So that's why we invited to Dr. Luana for the such kind of session. And due to some time difference, so that's why little bit delay. So I think she will join soon and within 5 minutes, so we can start our session. And if anyone have any query, please come in the chat box. Then definitely we will try to reply for your queries. How can we join the core community? Are the most welcome if you are interested to work with the AIRSA as a team member and representative and the institute representative, state representative. So at least you should become a member, and after that you work with the AIRSA as a volunteer. Then the AIRSA team will connect with you for the discussion and for the background and everything. Then you can join as a core committee member, but you have to some experience to work with AIRSA. Dr. Cass, anybody have something for you?
Okay, so I'm looking at in the chat box. Is there any question?
Okay. Even the most of the research scholar are working tirelessly with the AIRSA member since 2018, but time to time they have passed they have done the PhD, so they went for their the career growth and some scientific growth. So they are connected with us, but they are not highly active. But they always ready to support for the background for the AIRSA. So many people are supporting to the AIRSA. And if you want to join the AIRSA, please visit our website www.airsa.in, and we will write in chat box also. So you can visit our website, and we can see the all the things how can get the benefit for the membership and some other event. And we are just planning for our upcoming event for the like the conference, workshop, seminar. So whatever you want to join the scientific event, you will get the information in your dashboard when you become a IRSA member. So you can get the update time to time. So thank you so much, and just give the some time. I'm also trying to connect with the speaker, so I think just 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, he will join, and then we will start about the session. So please, if anyone have any queries, any doubt related to our organization, IRSA, then please most welcome.
Hello, Dr. Lorna. Am I audible? I think Dr. Lorna has joined, but uh, got disconnected again.
Okay, okay, okay. She will join again.
Yes.
Actually, there is some time difference, so that's why there's some connectivity. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Dr. Luana, and most welcome for the wonderful session.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you guys really well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for the joining. And there's some time difference, so there's some inconvenience for our participant. So thank you so much. And Dr. Cass, I would like to invite you to introduce our speaker. So then we can start our session. So most welcome, Dr. Cass.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And those are not in India, for them, if it is good evening, definitely good evening. And my name is Dr. Cash. I'm from Banaras Hindu University, and I'm also working as a scientific advisor at IRSA. Therefore, I welcome Dr. Lorna and other participants in this wonderful webinar series, in which today we have Dr. Lorna with us, who's going to speak on a wonderful topic about mentor and mentee relationship. So, uh, let me just say just one line about IRSA, because IRSA is conducting this wonderful webinar. So, IRSA is a scientific organization which is continuously working for benefit and rights of research scholar, not only in India, even across the globe. So at IRSA, we do have regular meetings to decide about our various issues about research scholars. And among those issues, one of the major issue is what to be conducted as a webinar in the next, and what should be the next topic of the webinar. So this is a major point of discussion among IRSA committee members. And this time we have decided one of the very crucial topic, that is mentor-mentee relationship. And for this mentor-mentee relationship, today we have Dr. Lorna Tenorio with us. She is an eminent scientist working in the field of neuroscience and as a coordinator of stress neurobiology group in the Department of Animal Morphology and Physiology, University Estadio Paulista, in the beautiful city of Jabotical in the state of Sao Paulo in the Brazil. I think I've I think I've spelled the name correctly. So
Perfect.
okay. So as a background of her, she has earned her bachelor degree in the physiotherapy and master's in physiological sciences and the PhD in neurophysiology. She is awardee of many prestigious fellowships, national and international grants. She has published many research papers in the highly reputed journals like Neuroscience, Neuroendocrinology, Respiratory Physiology, and Neurobiology, and many more. Recently, she has published a paper in Frontiers in Education, which shows that she is not uh, actively participating in academics. Even she is looking for the other points of academics, so that she can benefit academics in a different way other than scientific uh, point of view. So, being a wonderful neurobiologist, she is also working in the field of how women can be empowered in the field of science, and as well as how can we establish a good mentor-mentee relationship. Her recent publication in Frontier in Education is about mentor-mentee relationship in academia, insights towards the fulfilling academic career. I have read this article. It's a wonderful article of 4 pages, described two beautiful images in the article, and those two images are actually giving you insight that how, I mean, what can be the possible strategies through which mentors can establish good relationship with mentees. So she has given a lot of strategies in that paper for mentor, which is a good part for, I mean, research scholars to listen about. That yes, there's something to do about, something to do from the end of mentor. That yes, we can, mentor can also improve the relationship, not only mentee always. So based upon her recent publication, she is about to give today, I mean today's lecture on the topic of mentor-mentee relationship in academia. And basically she is going to speak what to be done, what more can be done to improve the relationship. So over to you, Dr. Lana.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Cash. Can I share my screen? I'm allowed?
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
Sorry, screen. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Can you see it?
No, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it's processing. Yeah.
Okay, let me know. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so thank you guys very much for having me. Thanks, Dr. Cash, for the kind introduction. I'm very happy to be here today. I need to say that first, when I got his email invitation, I became very excited because I had the opportunity to have very Indian friends during the time that I was in Canada for my postdoctoral training. And India is a place that it's really in my bucket list. It's a place that I want to visit one day. I hope so. So it's a pleasure to get to know you, to get to know more about the Arts Association. I think you guys are doing a great job. And so to be here today, talk about this mentor-mentee relationships, for me, it's a pleasure. I just want to disclose that I'm not a specialist about those relationships. So my talk today, it's more like an informal talk in order to provide and share some knowledge based on my own experience that I had during my training years, my years as a graduate student, what worked for me, what didn't work. So I think it could be useful for graduate students, hopefully. My outline, I will start talking a little bit about my academic and scientific trajectory, just to give some context about my own experiences. And then we're gonna discuss a bit the expectations and the reality that comes from those relationships. And then we're gonna dive a little bit more on my personal reflections. Like I said, it's a very personal point of view about this mentorship practice that I have seen and what could be possible solutions that could help us. At the end, I think we have a period for question and answers and comments, and I'd love to hear from you guys about your own experience and how the education system in India is currently working as well. So just to start with, my academic journey started in 2002. So you can do the math now. It has been a long time. Like Dr. Cash said, I got my bachelor degree in physical therapy in 2006. And during my years as a student, I had a chance to work as teaching assistant for almost 3 years. And then it was a time where I became passionate about teaching. I can say that I'm a people person. I'm really interested in people interaction. I like to get together with people to hear about their experiences. And based on this, I decided to follow straight to a master program in 2007. And then I started my master's degree in another university. So I moved to another city. I went to Federal University of São Carlos, which is located in São Paulo State as well. And I got my degree in physiology in 2008. Following, I can say that I had a shift on my interests. I became more interested in research, so I decided to go dive more into research, and then I decided to change university again to pursue a doctorate degree also in physiology. And for that time, I went to São Paulo State University. And I had the chance to do a 6 months internship at Wright State University in Ohio, in the USA. Got my degree in 2013, and then I got married at the end of my PhD. And then my husband and I decided to go abroad to have an experience. He was interested to take a sabbatic year, and I decided to start a postdoctoral training. So initially, the idea was to spend 1 year in Canada. This 1 year became almost a decade, and we had a son. So lots of things happened, and I will share with you guys a little bit today. So my first postdoctoral training was at Université Laval in Quebec City, a French university. I stayed in Quebec for 2 years. I studied neurobiology of stress with Dr. Richard Kincaid. After that, I moved again to another city. I moved to another state. This time I went to Alberta, still in Canada, but I went to University of Calgary. At the University of Calgary, I started to study more cardiovascular and respiratory responses, and we discovered new sensors in the spinal cord that were responsible for acute stress, hypoxic and hypotensive stress, sorry. And for those research, I spent almost 5 years at USC. So after this long training, I moved again to University of Victoria. And then in 2022, I worked for 7 months as a research associate with Dr. Marie-Ève Tremblay. After that time, I decided that was time for me to come back home because I was really interested in starting my own research group. So I started to look for opportunities to return to Brazil. I returned home in 2023 as a visiting researcher at the São Paulo State University, where I'm still working nowadays. Here is a picture from our campus. And here I can just comment on how important it is to be able to cultivate a good relationship with your mentors. So basically here is the city where I got my PhD degree. And even during this almost 10 years abroad that I spent in Canada, I never lost contact with my mentors from Brazil, especially Dr. Gargaglione, that was my supervisor for PhD. And she was the one that always stimulated me to come back home, to start my research group. And we always had these conversations. We kind of create this strong bond that was really important for me in order to decide to come back and establish myself at São Paulo State University. So just to highlight how impacting could be a relationship with a good mentor. And more recently, I started my own research group about 6 months ago as principal investigator here at UNESP. Here's the Brazil map showing where is the São Paulo State. Let me point here for you. So here's São Paulo State. And if you zoom in here, we can see that São Paulo State University, or UNESP, was founded in the 70s and is formed by 24 institutions. And one of them is the one that I'm working on, which is located in Jaboticabal on the north or on the São Paulo State. And then I started my research group focused on better understanding the interplay between how different types of stress, chronic stress and acute stress, uh, related to neuroinflammation. So we want to understand how this bidirectional talk have the implications for the respiratory system, how it impacts microglia expression, specifically with a focus on the orexinergic system in the context of psychiatric disorders, especially anxiety and panic disorder. More recently, we started some sub-projects looking at the role of psychedelics as an alternative approach, therapeutic approach to treat symptoms related with those disorders. Our preliminary studies focus on the role of the DMT, which is a tryptamine that works as a serotonergic agonist. And some researchers has pointed that they could serve as a valuable therapeutic tool, especially for patients that do not respond to classical medication. So if there is someone in the audience that are interested on those topics, or I'm taking the chance here, guys, to make some advertisement, and this could be an opportunity for future collaborations. I'll be very glad. So get in touch. And we launched a page on Instagram recently, which is at neurobiologia _ stress, which is the word for in Portuguese for neurobiology of stress. So get into more on those relationships in terms of expectations versus reality. But first, let's do some concepts. What is a mentor? A mentor is a term that came from the character mentor in the Homer's Odyssey, the Greek ancient book that was written, if I'm not wrong, on the 7th or 8th century. And in this book, Odysseus need to leave to fight on the Trojan War, and then he asks to his friend, mentor, to provide advice and give some guidance for his son, Telemachus. So that's the origin of this word mentor. And then we can say from this that a mentor is someone who imparts wisdom and shares knowledge with a less experienced person. In terms of expectations from mentees and mentors, I think this is a work in progress. I like to see this like it's a relationship under construction, right? And my view is that from a mentee side, they look for someone that can support them, that offer clear guidance, and if possible, that they can have frequently and friendly interactions. And then I can comment here on those friendly interactions from my own experience and seeing my colleagues during my training years as a student, that when we have that very strong hierarchy system, this is very intimidating for mentees, including myself at that time. And this kind of created like a gap which between the mentee and mentors, which is very unfortunate because you are keeping yourself from the great opportunity to learn from an experienced researcher or scientist, right? On the other side, the mentors are looking for students that can be efficient, they show some scientific curiosity, they are able to develop some critical thinking, and at least some level of independence. So based on this, we can have this concept that an effective mentorship is defined as a combination of not only by a career support, but also psychosocial support offered to the mentee. This relationship should be marked by reciprocal satisfaction and trust. So I think it's very challenging because mentors not only need to guide all the steps for the mentees, but also offer this kind of emotional support. And this could be very challenging for many of us. But in theory, everything looks to work really well. But if you look at the reality and outcomes, it's not like that. So when you look at the literature, and those ones more from North America, but I'm pretty sure that this is applicable in all around the world. And when you see that there is in the last years that have an increased time to complete degree, and also an increase in attrition rates from graduate programs. And those things are very crucial indicators about the efficacy of graduate programs. Just to exemplify, here in Brazil, we have been noticed on the last 10 years or more, even like on the last 2 years, there was a huge decreased interest in pursuing an academic career in our graduate program in physiological sciences. So the coordinators of the programs are aware. So we have been talking about this, but we need to take time to implement new actions, to discuss and implement these new actions. For example, in our case, we are thinking about decrease the time to completion degree. For example, instead of 5 to 6 years to get your PhD, a student could gather a degree in 4 years, or some steps like that, or even to try to improve the amount and value of fellowships and scholarships in order to create more attractive financial support for those students. I just cite here one new from Nature Careers website from early January this year, showing that if we look at postdocs, almost 50% of the last postdocs that are finishing their trainings are leaving academia. This is from the study from North America, but at least here in Brazil, this is not different. I'm not sure exactly in terms of percentage, didn't look at this, but we have a kind of similar situation going on right now here. Another really bad outcome that I would like to comment on is about mental health. We also are facing a huge mental health crisis in science. And I had many colleagues that had many problems with this, not only because they didn't have like a good mentor relationship, but also felt lack of support there from the institution. And some of them, they got this traumatic experience and decided or leave the program, the graduate program. They didn't even finish their degree, or as soon as they finished their PhD, they immediately left academia. So many of those related to huge levels of anxiety and depression. And again, here in Brazil, we're seeing the same situation. And I think it's kind of common because when you're pursuing our PhD degree, it's a very stressful period of our lives. And we really need support on how to navigate these times. So besides this, we have new challenges that we could add to the scenario. For example, I think mentors should be aware that when they are leading a group, different cultural backgrounds are present in this group usually, right? For example, giving my own example, in Canada, the research team is formed by people from different countries. And each one brings their own perspectives, which I think is great in terms of research. I think it enriches the research. But mentors, many times, they're not aware of this. And I had some situations during my postdoctoral where I saw many experiences that mentors had no idea on how to approach their trainees or how to deliver some messages. So we need to be aware of these differences. Gender is another important topic. And from my side, I can say it's hard to be a woman in academia. It is still a field dominated by men. And again, mentors should educate themselves on how to avoid difference in treatment regarding gender. Also be in mind that women in academia, it's a, how can I say, it's a special group of to work with, let's say like this. For most of us, we have this biological clock, and most of us, or some of us, wants to be a mother. So at some point, we will leave for a maternity leave period, and the return to work is challenging for us. I've seen many colleagues that did not return from maternity leave after they become mothers. And when we return to our jobs, it's a totally new dynamic for us. We need to tackle many things at the same time. So having a support system that understands this is crucial to make women stays in academia or stay pursuing a career even outside academia after the motherhood, right? And finally, another challenge, or I will not say challenge, but another situation that we should be aware is that we're mentoring a totally different generation of students, especially talking about the Gen Z, the Zoomers, which are the students that were born between 1994 and 2012, 2014. So we need to take into account that those students, they grew up with internet. Their lives, it's about social media, social networks. They even faced a pandemic. So it's different. We need to be prepared to receive these mentees and be able to offer a more efficiency mentorship. So the Gen Z, usually they are these young people that have undefined ideas. They don't define it themselves in only one way. They are communaholic, which means that they are more like inclusive people. They have this different mentality. I think this is very positive in my opinion. And they are the dialoguers. So they are looking for less confrontations and more open dialogues. For example, this is an opinion from a male respondent from Brazil, which says that we have our Gen Z, right? They say we have our own style and way of being, but what binds us is that we accept and understand everyone's styles. So like I said, I think this is a positive viewpoint, and we just need to be aware on how to take this relationship in order to be more fruitful and useful for both sides. In summary, they want a more authentic leaders that value their inputs and encourage open dialogues. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about some personal reflections on the mentorship practice I lived myself, and some possible solutions that I think could be useful for us. So based on those discussions, I started to think myself that something was really wrong. I think I started to think about this specifically because I also had a hard time in the time of my career where we feel very discouraged. So it's complicated. So I understand this, and I saw many friends, many friends, like leaving for medical leave or leaving academia even without finishing their degrees, as I said. So I really start to reflect to think there's something really wrong, and what could be this is happening, why? And I start to think the problem is that mentors, they are not trained to mentor. Yeah, as simple as it is, we were not received any training on this, right? So my viewpoint on this is that it's really a teamwork where many efforts from different sides, not only from mentors, but also mentees, grant agencies, and the institutions, the universities, needs to work together. to try to come up with solutions that could be implemented and in order to achieve better outcomes for these future professionals. Another definition for this relationship is that we need this collaborative learning relationship and working alliance. And this relationship is based on intentionality. So you need to make time to reflect on this and how you could do a better mentor for the trainees, and how you can support mentors to be better mentors, right? Also based on trust, and like I said, it's a shared responsibility. So for mentees specifically, especially for the ones that are looking for like securing a next mentor, I could say this is a big challenge. And it seems very obvious, but you need to ask yourselves a few questions. I didn't for myself. So I'm talking about this in hope for someone that is thinking to, or even start a graduate program, or start a new degree in another university with another mentor. Just take some time to think about this. So what do you want to learn exactly? And what kind of mentor do you need? Another thing is to reflect on why you think this person could be an ideal mentor to you. So it's a very personalized choice. And it works to take some time to reflect on this to make a more assertive choice. And then what I could say is do your homework, talk to people, get references, read their work, study the mentor, your future mentor trajectory. I think you need to see this mentor as an inspiration for you. You need to, in my opinion, to have the same success that your future mentor achieved, right? And if you already have your mentor, and in some case or in many cases, you're not satisfied, because another situation that happens is that there is a mismatch in the personalities. And this, unfortunately, we can't change, right? Each one has their own ways to be. So if you're already having this clashes with your mentor because this personality mismatch, one thing that could be done to help this is look for group mentoring strategies. So you can work with your collaborator on your project and ask them to mentor you as well, along with your supervisor. So there are some strategies that can be useful if you already are living in a situation when you don't have like this good relationship with your mentor. For mentors, like I said, we're not trained to mentor. So it's really important, in my opinion, to educate ourselves. So try to get to know about mentorship strategies, courses that are available, resources, read about these strategies. And if you have a kind of some power in your institution, try to advocate for trainings that could be useful for you and also for your mentees. Another strategy that I think is really useful is the cascade mentorship, which basically means that you mentor your senior mentees, and then you start to train them to mentor the junior students. This is really good because you can release time from yourself to do your other research and teaching activities, but also you provide a valuable opportunity for your senior student to mentor. In other words, you're also training his to be a future mentor. And also, I think another useful strategy is work with feedback. So ask for feedbacks. This will provide continuous evaluation about your own practices and how you can improve this. But for this, I think it's not all for all mentors, because many mentors, they are so overwhelmed that they don't have time. They don't even think about this mentorship practice and how impactful can be. But but it's important if you're committed to train the next generation of professionals or scientists. This is your collaboration, and I think this is really meaningful. When I wrote about this paper, like Dr. Cash said, it was released in 2023. It was published in Frontiers in Education. I started to think about specific elements that could be useful for us from both sides, for mentees and mentors. And I highlighted 3 elements here. The first one is the communication. Communication. So it's the element where you make time to set clear and realistic expectations. And one tool that I like to use is like a straight talk. This was useful for me when I was abroad, because English is not my first language. And then I have this intention to try to work on my deliveries to be the most straight as possible. And I asked the same from my mentors. I think this was important in terms of avoiding miscommunication and misunderstanding. But then when I came back to Brazil, I realized to interact with students again and realized the problem is the same. So it's not because language difference. I think it's a human problem. We don't know how to communicate efficiently. So this is something that I try to always remember when I talk to my students now and with my colleagues to be more clear as possible. Another thing is, it's really helpful in my opinion, is sit with your mentees and define goals and timelines and help them to prioritize these many tasks that you're asking from them. Use your experience to guide them on this sense. Really useful. I didn't have this chance in many moments over my training, but discussing preliminary data and deciding the next steps is very, very useful in order to avoid like mistakes on experiments. So losing time, losing money, and so on. So communication, discussing our project ideas, so difficult technical approaches and challenges that your mentees are facing is really important as well. And again, provide constructive and timely feedback to them. You're training them, so giving feedback, like honest feedback, is really useful. And finally, from your experience, you can help identify the personal limitations from each one and try to address them together, try to resolve these issues together with the mentees. You can see it's a lot of things, a lot of details, but it really helps. Another more recent approach is the e-mentoring. I don't know how this e-mentoring approach is going on in India. I want to hear after. But here in Brazil, we are using those tools a lot. So tools like Slack or WhatsApp, it's really helpful when the mentors cannot make time to meet in person. So there is possibilities. So we just need to be open to it. The second element that we need to set is the environment. Like in here, I'm talking about the microenvironmental, the laboratory, and the classroom. It's basically when you think about to establish your own rules. And for myself here, I think it's really important, never, ever allow detrimental behaviors from the trainees, provide equal treatment and opportunity for all mentees. For example, keeping them in the loop on important issues. I had situations that I was not considered in the loop because I was the only woman in the group. So, and the most saddest thing was to realize that the mentor was never aware of this. So it really takes a lot of time to reflect on these issues. So another way to provide this equal treatment is through hiring decisions. try to hire as more diverse team and inclusive team you can. And those two, the other two that I'm going to talk about, it's because I had this from one of my mentors, and it was really nice to have this, which is help to mentees develop a sense of belonging in a scientific community. In our case, so my mentor used to take us once a year to a national conference, always the same conference. And this was a really important opportunity to meet colleagues, re-meet older friends. So have the time to exchange ideas, and also as relief from the stressful days inside the lab setting. So he was really aware of this and how I could alleviate the stress, the pressure, and provide my mentee a valuable time. So this is something that I want to do with my students nowadays here. And also provide social opportunities to build this team spirit. So for us, we used to have a social get together once a month, or when it was some students' birthday, we always had lunch together. And those are simple things, just some examples on how we can help to build this teamwork atmosphere. And I think it's really helpful because this is reflected on the team's well-being. I saw that the trainees felt less stressed, more efficient, and even more creative. But there is a cost to this, and this led us to the third element, which is the time. So we need to invest time. And in those interactions, when you put this extra effort to give this extra time, it's a moment that we also can help a student to discuss other topics than research. So how to equilibrate our work life better, discuss career goals and outcomes even outside academia, and search for career development and networking opportunities. I think it's really nice from the mentor to think about this. And most important is an opportunity for mentors to provide encouragement. From my side, I had like I said, it was not everything rainbows and hearts, but most of the time I had very good mentors, and I had this encouragement support. And this was definitely one of the reasons that made me to decide to pursue a career in academia. So it's really strong. It's really impactful for mentees. The problem is that mentors are overloaded. We already are we have so many in our plate, especially for I would say for junior faculty. I'm living this right now, and it's insane. So we need to set the lab, buy equipment. Like in my case, I don't have like any administrative assistant, so I'm the one that need to do the quotations, buy the equipment, set the equipment, do all the assemble, hire the students, so interview which one of them, trying to identify which one will be the best profiles to join the team, write papers, training the new students, write all these protocols, and participate in committee meetings, attend conferences. Wow, it's a lot. And we also have a life outside of work. So it's challenging. I'm aware of this, but we need to make our way to put everything together and make this work. Then there is this crucial role from the institutions and from the universities, because we are very requested to address all these demands. But the universities, especially, there's a huge pressure to publish papers. You know about this, right? But the institutional has no idea about all these sub roles that we need to address as well. And mentorship has rarely received the focused attention and recognition from all these other professional responsibilities that they asked us for. So in this case, I see that we urge to see a cultural shift, a shift in the mentality from the institutions, because it starts from above, right? So the universities, the institutions need to support, need to recognize the importance of a proper mentorship, and put these practices as a priority, starting to offering trainings to mentor the mentors, how we can learn mentor our trainees, how can we improve our skills. So a couple of thinking on that we can have from those institutions is that they can offer protected time for faculty members to mentor students, and create or expand like mentor awards, like the ones similar to teaching awards. They should account mentorship in the promotion decisions. I think is a great way to stimulate mentors to shape their mentorship skills. Offer research tools, like I said, to allow mentors to develop themselves. Expand internship programs, seminars, all these professional development courses and students exchanges, I think, in order to create a more inclusive and diverse environment. And mainly creation and implementation of policies that support students who experience negative mentorship relationship. And one way to do that is not protecting abusive mentors' behavior because their seniority or other reasons. And from funding agencies, we also can have support. Like, for example, funding agents could require institutions to implement this research informed mentorship practices, and could also require mentorship training from mentors and from students as well. Expand scholarships and fellowships for underrepresented students, and also create mentor awards. I think it could be a way to stimulate a better search for mentorship practice. This would have certainly, I believe, that would influence how we shape the future STEM workforce and preparing the next generation of professionals. So mentorship for mentors, yeah, it can work. So I'm almost finishing here, but just brought some resources. One of them is the CIMER project. I recently got to know this. This is a Center for the Improvement of Mentored Experiences in Research. It's from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I took a look on their project, and they really offer really nice and really well-prepared courses for mentors, also for mentees, online and presential courses. But the downside is that it's very expensive. But just to make you guys aware that there are people that started to organize themselves in terms to address the issues on mentorship relationships. Another one, and this modality is an online course offered not only for mentors, but also for students, fellows, and even early career faculty. This one is from University of Minnesota. And for this one, I think it is free, if I'm not wrong, but even if you're not in the US, you can register using an external account. So it's something that we could use to think about if we could implement. I'm thinking about this, if we could implement something similar here in Brazil, because currently we don't have. We're starting to thinking about these, discussing more about those relationships, but we don't have many courses implemented already, which is unfortunate, but we can get there. A little bit of more resources is the Science of Effective Mentorship in STEM. This guide is created by the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. It's from the North America, from Washington, D.C. They offer really, really nice advice, counseling, and guidance in many different levels of the mentorship practices. I think it's really nice to read this, take time to get familiar with. We have also some mentor online mentorship like this one, which I brought as an example, the Mentor-Net, powered by Great Minds in STEM. It's a program, it's a 4 month program, so you can register and they will try to match you with 9 mentors based on common interests, and then you can meet online. You can get advice from experienced and more senior mentors. I think this is really interesting. And participate in some association. In my case, I'm a member of the World Women Association in Neuroscience. They talk a lot about those equity, EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion practices. I am also an enthusiast about EDI as well, but just brought here as an example. So you can find your own association, which is more related with your field of work. I think is really valid. And just as a take-home message to wrap it up, I would like to highlight the importance of us recognizing and reflect on the impact of a good mentorship, and highlighting here these elements that we could work around, which is providing a good environment, proper time to spend time together, clear communication practices in order to provide a better experience for our mentees towards a better, fulfilling career. Yes. I'd like to finish acknowledging all my teachers, professors, and students that I had a chance to interact with, especially my mentors from Brazil, Dr. Regiane Azair and Luciane. My mentor from the US, Dr. Robert Putman. And my mentors from Canada, Richard Kincaid, Wilson, and Maria Tremblay. All the funding agents that have been supporting my research, my passion for research over the years. And thank you guys very much for listening, for giving me the opportunity to talk about this, which is a topic that I'm very passionate about. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lorna. It was really, really nice listening you throughout the talk. It was very, very informative and precisely giving us insights about how we can improve the mentor-mentee relationships. And definitely, yes, we have got to know about your journey, academic journey, and of course, in the end, we have definitely got about a lot of good resources for mentors to learn more and more. And yes, let me just check if we have some questions in the chat box. So, Loardo Jeffrin has asked that, yes, can you suggest some resources and courses or trainings for mentorship? I think, Dr. Loardo, you have already got your answer because Dr. Lorna has given very good resources, and I mean paid and unpaid, both kind of resources. And basically, we can see that, yes, such mentorship training has started in our academic careers. Since we joined the PhD, we have given some trainees to work with us. During those projects, those small projects, we got to know about how to train those trainees and all. So from there, we have started our mentorship. And then, of course, after getting the job, such programs, those are actually suggested by Dr. Lorna, can definitely be helpful. So I think you got your answer in this case. And any other question? Let me just check once again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Doctor, just completing. If someone, please feel free to get in touch with me if you want. Like, I can share these resources. There are more. I just presented just some of them because the time limit. But please feel free to message me later. I'll be happy to share.
It was
yeah.
so nice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Luana, and it was very wonderful session, and I appreciate to give your time, precious time for us, and such a wonderful session. And I am Dr. Lalchand Vishwakarma, and mm, I try to connect with you, and really appreciable. And in the current scenario in science, that is very important topic, and many scholars always facing the problem and stress and across the country. Even we received the several grievances in our organization by the research scholar. They always face such kind of challenges in their research career.
Yes.
So we try to convey our message to our research scholar among the scientific community, and hope they will understand, and even we will share this session with them also.
Mhm.
So if people will understand, and even the faculty member and the student both. So one my question, what is the key factor to improve in our system?
Yeah, it's a great question. A great question. And it's the 1 million question, right? Yeah, I think I can talk from my experience here in Brazil, which I'm more familiar with. There is no recipe, but I think what we should start doing is to promote, to start a discussion, right? And like I said, if you have like a position in your university, in your institution, please start advocating, starting to bring this topic to attention, like you guys are doing. I think it's amazing. You have the association, and you are spreading the knowledge, calling the attention for this crucial topic, which involves these relationships between mentors and mentees. But here, like what you're trying to do is inside each like graduate program, discuss between the members what we can do to change the system. But our focus right now is in how we can make the graduation attractive, how we can retain the students, because this and every year we are seeing a decreased number of enrollment from the students in the graduation programs, and this is really scary because a country without people in the research, people specializing in their fields, it is nothing, right? So we believe this. If we want to grow as a nation, we need to keep specializing the next generation. And our problem right now is that people, they are not interested anymore as before. And of course, it depends depending the areas. So, for example, people that come from engineering fields, they don't take graduate programs. It's very rare because as soon as they finish their bachelor degree, they have very good jobs. They don't have any difficult to get jobs. So they don't need to specialize anymore. But for other fields, we are seeing that they don't want to stay because it's a long time to get like a job, have a good pay. So we're trying to, our strategies is trying to decrease the time to complete degree, and trying to have more strategies, partnerships with not only with grant agencies, but with industries to bring the money, because money is a factor that influences. If you can offer a good scholarship, a good fellowship, it's something that we believe that can increase the interest, promote like a more supportive environment so these students stay in academia, or not even to stay in academia, but specialize through a graduate program. And I don't know how you guys are doing in India. I'd love to hear how are being the experiences in the educational system in India. Maybe I can have an idea to implement here in Brazil.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Cass, I think one more question also. The mentor or mentee is an introvert. How to improve the communication? Any resource?
So there's a
Sorry?
question in the chat box. If either mentor or mentee is introvert, how can we improve this situation? And is there any resource to improve the situation?
Sorry, if the mentor is what?
Or mentee is introvert in nature. If both of them are introvert in nature, so what can be done in that case, or is there any resources to improve the situation?
Like if you have a mentor in another place?
No. If any of the both, I mean mentor or mentee, is introvert in nature, not communicating well, not.
No, they don't have a good nature. Yes, yes. Yeah, like I said, it then is a matter of personality. Okay, I can share my own experience here. So I had one mentor, one of my mentors from the postdoc training. We had these very distinctive personalities. Our dynamic of work, it was completely different. But I was in a situation that I was very interested in pursuing that research topic. And he was a specialist in that topic. So my strategy was to focus my attention in the good parts, so what he could offer me. And regarding this personality mismatch, there was nothing that I could do about it. So I tried to communicate as much as I can in terms to avoid, clashes or misunderstandings. But I think when this is the case, you need to try to focus on the good side, try to communicate, try to have an open dialogue with the mentor in terms of saying how he can guide you better. And I don't know, I personally, I am someone that values very open, honest, and straight communication. So I prefer to sit down and talk straight about is not working well for me, what I myself can do better to attend the expectations for my mentee as well, and how can he can help me. So I think it's important to recognize that we also have some flaws. So it's not an only responsibility from the mentor side. That's why I think it's important to have this communication open and honest, and say that you're also open to improve and to attend his expectations. Yeah.
I think there's no more question in the chat box. So this is the time to say wonderful thanks and great thanks to Dr. Lorna for giving such a nice talk on such a vibrant topic and such an important topic for both mentor and mentee. And definitely there are ways, your talk has suggested, yes, definitely there are ways to improve the relationship, and one should definitely opt those strategies given by you and in your publication as well. So now on behalf of me and on behalf of IRSA, I'm definitely thankful to you, and I'm grateful to you for giving your valuable time for this talk, for our organization, and for all the participants. Thank you so much.
Well,
thank you so much, Dr.
of course.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
thanks
yeah.
as well. It
Yeah,
was
thank you
really
so
nice
much.
to get to meet you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. And once again, I would like to thanks everyone, to all the participants and our keynote speaker, Dr. Luana, and give a precious time for such a wonderful talk. And thank you so much, and appreciate. And definitely we will connect